It was a time long ago, in a land far away, I went on a mission trip. And God spoke to me on that mission trip and showed me the incredible needs of people all over the world. And I went on several trips, actually covered over 70 countries, and I thought I was out there serving people and working. And it turned out it was my training ground. God was just showing me the needs all around the world. And eventually I got to the continent of Africa, and I really enjoyed Africa. And there was a special calling from God for me to work and stay in Africa and to put my roots down and do a little bit deeper work. And we settled in South Africa. It was about 11 years ago. And initially, we just lived like gypsies. We would move every 4-5 days and do medical outreaches, giving out classes all over the country of South Africa. And then eventually we settled in one place here in Limpopo on a beautiful game lodge and a game farm. We built Del Kramer Children's Campus. Del Kramer was a man that many of you and I would know, incredible man that I love and our family loves. And so we honored him and we named the Children's Campus after him. And that Children's Campus is our flagship pilot program that we center all of our feeding programs around. That is the hub where we feed 7,500 children.
Blessman Ministry started with optical outreaches in South Africa, and as we were working with these kids, we just realized we needed to get to a point where we can really invest in children's lives. We found this property in the community of Sakakapeng, and we started small with just 25 children. We provide them a hot meal every day, a hot meal that gets provided by Meals of the Heartland. The program has grown so much that we are now feeding 105 children 5 days a week, and then a group of children on Sundays during Sunday school. I love the Sunday school. It is so much fun to just see these children grow spiritually and just getting a relationship with Jesus Christ. Our children at Del Kramer that has access to better education, caregivers that loves them like they've never been loved before. We have a bakery that we bake breads for our kids, but also to sell. We have a chicken production that is doing extremely well for our co-op. Part of our co-op, we also work with 5 ladies that is in charge of making sure that we have vegetables. The vegetables are being produced for the feeding center, but also in the community to help us get an extra income for the center.
It was about 5 years ago that we finally built our own home and really put our roots down here. Soon after that, we were able to build the Robert Thompson campus, and that's where we built that for long-term missionaries to come and stay. And I've asked many of you to come on a mission trip with us, and we're praying that a few people will get called to become long-term missionaries and to come and stay with us and live in this beautiful campus that we've been able to put together with all of your help and God's help. And just about 3 years ago, we were able to build the Lodge of Dreams. And it's an incredibly beautiful lodge that we were able to honor my father, and it's named the Leroy Blessman Lodge of Dreams. And that's where short-term missionaries come and stay. That's where you will stay when you come and visit with us and work with us. And it's just such a joy to have all of you come and to work with us.
Hi, my name is Suzette Mbappe. I'm the Lodge of Dreams manager. I've been working for Lodge of Dreams for 9 months now. Lodge of Dreams is situated in the Waterberg Mountains of Limpopo Province in South Africa. Lodge of Dreams has about 4 chalets that can accommodate about 21 to 22 people. Our chalets are divided into double beds, single beds, bunk beds, and a shared living space and a kitchenette. Lodge of Dreams has received wonderful reviews from both local and international guests. We would like to thank all the guests that have made it possible for Lodge of Dreams to be where it is today.
December 1st, 2014, we added Mountain View Training and Research Farm. Mountain View is a 135-acre farm where we focus on game breeding and crop production. On this farm, we are currently utilizing 5 greenhouse tunnels, where our main goal is to maximize yields. Our produce is then divided up to Del Kramer Children's Campus, feeding centers, and the market to help keep the project sustainable. 2016 was a very difficult year for farmers with a massive drought. However, our strong well and our drip irrigation enabled us to produce high-quality fruits and vegetables. The game breeding project is off to a good start as our Anyala have remained healthy and begun to multiply. After watching the market the last 10 years, we feel confident that game breeding will continue to generate significant income that can help support the farm and future ministry projects. The Ridgeway Family Youth Hostel has been an incredible value add. The University of Limpopo currently utilizes the facility while helping us with research and crop production.
Hello, my name is Hilda Chongani. I manage the Litabo Sewing and Training Center under Blessman Ministries. Working in the Sewing Center, it has created a great change in my life. Learning new skills has increased my confidence. Through Blessman Ministries, the Litabo Sewing Center is now providing school uniforms that we make to give vulnerable children in Limpopo. The Litabo Sewing and Training Center also produce items that we sell online and local here in South Africa.
One of our new ministries this last year has been the Days for Girls project, and it's been so exciting. It's better received here than I ever anticipated it would be. The ladies here are impoverished and they're not able to afford the feminine hygiene kits.
After we learned how to make Days for Girls kids components, the Litabo Sewing and Training Center is now leading the production.
We need to take that project to scale, and so we've developed a partnership with the Department of Education, and we've been invited to come into the prisons and teach the ladies there how to sew, and there'll be about 20 ladies sewing 6 hours a day, and they'll sew thousands of these Days for Girls kits. And the exciting thing about that is the women in prison actually will get a day out of jail to help us go out and distribute these products, and so they're very excited about it. The schools are tremendously excited that they're going to be able to have this for their young ladies in the rural impoverished schools.
We were busy with the water project in partnership with Hy-Vee and Rotary. We had to establish that they had the need. So we went and did needs assessments within these schools until we found the need in 10 schools. Within the 10 schools that have been identified, we'll be providing water. We've completed about 60% done with the schools, and we'll be having about 4 more schools that would be done before the end of June. As we were going around all the schools, one of the things that would always come up within the needs assessments where we have problems with our toilets as well. However, most of the schools have either non-existing toilet structures or dilapidated structures. There has been cases where children have fallen into pit toilets and have died. And our discussion with the Department of Education was around how can we assist them eradicate also the toilet backlog that they have within the province. This year they've said they'll put up 5 million, so we'll put in 5 million rands. Now the 10 million will go towards building the toilets. And how it will work is we will build toilets for them that will keep the costs from contractors down because we'll be doing it ourselves, and we will use 75% of that money to build the toilets. It will be cheaper than what they are used to paying and the same quality. The 25% will help also fund ministry projects. What we agreed with the department is as we build the toilets, we'll also emphasize and come up and close the needs in terms of the destitute children, in terms of feeding them within the schools. It's our shoes, the Days for Girls products, and the eye tests that we'll be doing.
International Leadership Academy is a 4-year program where we challenge young leaders to make a difference in their community. We start at high school grade 8, and we have these students come to a camp where they learn a lot of leadership principles. And then we send them back to their community and have them do community projects where they have to impact their community.
I'm Beth Blessman, and I'm going to tell you a bit about the history of our churches. We had just completed the main buildings of the Del Kramer Children's Children's Campus in July of 2009, and we had just begun the daily after-school program for the children. As we were looking around, we commented on what a shame it was that the building would sit empty on the weekends. We thought, wouldn't it be wonderful someday to have a church? My husband said, how hard can it be? That is one of his favorite sayings that he says way too often. We pulled our team together, bought chairs, some sound equipment and instruments, and found local pastors to fill the pulpit. One of our team members, DJ Friesmeyer, who had helped design the campus, realized we needed a cross. He built the cross that still stands there today. 2 weeks later, we had our first church service at Lighthouse Christian Church. We were so excited, we had no idea how many would come. It was a cold, overcast winter day in the southern hemisphere, and I remember I was wearing my winter coat, scarf, and gloves. People began filling up the building, and just as the service started, the sun peeked through the clouds and shone right on the cross. It felt like God was giving us His approval that we were on the right track. In January of 2010, we had our first Sunday school children's service with about 50 children attending. Soon we had a tent for them with a concrete floor. The children's program continued to grow, and a storage area was remodeled into a children's church. This building is now used for adult church and community functions, and the kids have moved to a new building that is completely theirs. Now, 6 years later, the children's ministry attendance is over 100 children most weeks. The kids are served meals from the Heartland afterwards. We praise God for a wonderful pastor, Jonathan, and his wife, Rulani. Under their leadership, the church has grown in maturity and size with weekly home Bible studies, fasting and prayer, a strong youth group, and a growing presence in the community. As the years went by, we saw the need for a church in the rural area. We were transporting as many as we could to Lighthouse Church, but there were many more who wanted to attend, but due to lack of transportation, couldn't. In 2012, Hope Christian Church was founded. We began meeting in a small country school. We soon outgrew the building and moved into a partnership with a larger school down the road and renamed the church Mountain View Hope Christian Church. Under the leadership of Pastor Manatella and his wife Chloe, the church is growing and flourishing.
And now we must think about the future and how can we sustain this project so that when I'm finished working with this, it continues to go on. And so our board has been very helpful at making sure that this ministry goes on long after Beth and I are finished working with it. And all of you have met Dustin and Renee, and they're the core of our sustainability or succession plan. And so I encourage all of you to get to know them and look forward to working with them as well.
I would like to give a big thank you to Hy-Vee and Rotary and everyone who contributed towards the water project. It's come a long way and has assisted most of the schools, like Blinkwater, where a place that didn't have water today is a hub where people can come and collect and have clean, fresh water.
I'd like to also thank the mission team members that come out through here to support Blessman Ministries.
Thank you, Blessman Ministries. Thank you, Blessman! Thank you very much, Blessman Ministries. Thank you, Delgrama, to give us church, and God love us.
Thank you so much for your support. Without the help of you and many others, this would not be possible.
Thank you, Blessman Ministries, for changing the lives of many children in Limpopo, South Africa.